Hello everyone. So I was just clicking around in OBS a little bit, because that's what I use to record, and I think, well, now I'm blurry as I say all this, there we go. I was going to say, I think I managed to kind of fix my gamma a little bit and kind of play with the light balancing. I put it more on blue because the light in my room is like, it was pink. I still look kind of shiny and questionable, but to be honest, I've had 3 hours of sleep. I just took my last final. I have alcohol. It's really hot, so there's a fan behind me that's blowing on me, and I'm still really hot even with this little fan. So, I'm shiny, whatever. Anyways, I told myself that I was going to do a doll video last weekend, and obviously that didn't happen. So I was like, well, hey, maybe this could be celebratory, just finished school. I should say college. I still have 2 more weeks of physically teaching in person, and what fun it is to be a teacher. No, I love my kids so much. It's not easy. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So I have a couple videos that I intend to do. One was about like wigs that I'm making. A lot of them are coming out less than perfect, so I was really frustrated. I haven't gone around and taken pictures of the ones that are completed, and like I botched the wig that I made for my new Soul Doll boy, so now I'm kind of just like, well, I don't feel like trying to fix the hairstyle. I hate doing boy hairstyles. It's so hard. I've done some really good ones, and I've done some that I'm just like, why? Why did I think I could style your hair? But anyways, so I'm not ready with that one yet. It'd be fun. Obviously, maybe not during the week, but maybe next weekend. Maybe I'll stream some more, like, wig making. But we'll see. Now that I actually have my gamma kind of a little more under control. Granted, my autofocus isn't under control, but small victories, right? Anyways, what I thought I'd do instead is begin the character stories series, because I've got like 40 dolls, and I've got like 7 or 8 different stories going between all of them. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of sit down and talk about some. And I'm using the Get to Know My Doll tag by Jaffacake that was around just kind of as a guideline. I may or may not follow it completely, but I figured that would help with the situation, with keeping me on track. But anyways, I'm going to take a swig of alcohol, and then we will get started. And I'll introduce the 2 dolls to you. They're right here. You might be able to see. Yeah, you can see some knees there. Okay. Alright. So, Mr. Flopperton. His head really needs swaiting, but your girl is lazy. Come here, my other sweet potato. I love this boy. His knee also needs swaiting. He's a lot. I restrung him. Oops, I just pulled his sock down. I restrung him, and he's a lot more. He actually stands up straight, but yeah, this knee really needs swaiting because it just will not stay straight. But that's okay. I love him anyways. Okay, if only they didn't look so blown out. I figured I would start with these two. Oh my god, just his head. He's a really, really, really old soul doll. I guess I'll introduce the sculpts. This is a soul doll Paris. This is a Dalmor Theo on a Let's Delph body. And I wish you could see him in better detail because I gave him freckles and he's just the cutest little thing in the universe. But anyways, I figured I'd start with these two. This is Joshua and this is Leo. And so, first question, what is their name and do they have a story? Well, Joshua and Leo. They do have a story. So, they're kind of in a post-apocalyptic world. I got them like steampunk clothes, right? And this was a pirate suit and I sewed like gears on to make it more science-y, fiction-y. But they're not necessarily from like a steampunk universe. It was more just I wanted like this kind of style. But they are from a post-apocalyptic world. And so there's, the country has been quite literally torn apart by war, and people are having to flee their villages and cities and towns as they are, bombed and all this bad stuff happens. Now he's standing. Let's see how long he'll stay like this, huh? Yeah, see, before I couldn't even straighten his body. There we go. Alright, there we go, Leo. Ooh. Maybe. But anyways, so Leo and Joshua are both from kind of a small town that is kind of on the outskirts of like where the bombs are going off, and so they both choose to flee. But as you quickly find out, Leo is ill and not doing well, and so he's kind of considered the weak link, and most of the fleeing people opt that if he becomes a burden, they will leave him behind. And Joshua's kind of in that group too. He's kind of, at first he's a little cynical, and his response is more along the lines of, why are you trying so hard to stay alive if you're dying? And for Leo, it's more a matter of how he wants to die. He wants to try and die in the comfort of a safe zone rather than some horrible, terrible death. I know, it's dark, I'm sorry. But anyways, and so you find out Leo has a heart condition, and so, his heart beats inconsistently, and so that causes a lot of problems along the way. But Leo is a very loving and sincere person, and so of course he's always kind of just, sticking around with the other, the elderly and the people that also have been kind of deemed as will be left for dead, and helping them. And he ends up, saving Joshua's life at one point. My dog is gonna start crying. Stop. No. Then, Joshua kind of feels indebted to him. And so it kind of starts as, well, he saved my life, so I'll look out for him. But then as time goes on, Joshua becomes, he becomes attracted, and he becomes very, very protective of Leo. Yes, it's gay. Everything in Sarahland is gay. I think of all my dolls, I have one straight couple, and then the rest are all gay. But anyways, so Leo is just, dying along this journey, and Joshua is desperately trying now to keep him alive and to get him to the city in hopes of saving his life. Um, and when they finally get there, Joshua finds out that Leo only has a few weeks left to live, and he's devastated, and Leo's kind of like, well, this is what I expected, but this is how I wanted, my ending to be. I want to die in the comfort and safety of, a protected zone. But Joshua, he is not willing to let Leo die, and so he goes to, the apocalyptic equivalent of a loan shark, and agrees to basically be be his henchman for an exchange of a large enough sum of money to get Leo a prosthetic heart. And then, he stays with, Leo's not happy at first because Leo doesn't want him to be indebted for the rest of his life to save him, because, Leo, he's kind of made his peace with his situation, and so he doesn't want Joshua to throw his life away for him. But Joshua is like, but I'm doing this because I can't imagine the universe without you, because, gay, so cute. And, yeah, so he finally convinces Leo to accept the surgery, and so Leo has a prosthetic heart, and he, slowly recovers, and while he's recovering, Joshua goes on whatever missions this loan shark sends him on, and then eventually Leo chooses to join him in an attempt to help pay back, and, so then they start going on all these crazy adventures together, and are sometimes seen as the enemies because of the person that they work for, but the things you do to make sure your loved one doesn't die. And that's kind of the part where I haven't planned it out as thoroughly, so I won't go into details about all those adventures, but that's kind of the premise of their story. That only took 10 minutes to explain. So moving on, how old are they? I don't have a particular, I was trying to think of how old they might be, and they're probably in their early to mid 20s, they're young. I imagine Joshua is probably a little older than Leo, so maybe I don't know, 22, 23 for this one, and maybe 24, 25 for this one. So in the same general age range. Are they human or fantasy characters? They are human, but like I said, this one gets a prosthetic heart, which also makes him kind of a target because those are not cheap, and all the black market and all that fun stuff. So, Joshua still kind of has to be on the lookout, because now people are like, well, why don't we just murder him and sell his heart and get a ton of money? Do they have special skills or powers? No. They are regular humans. But I wouldn't say that they've never shot a gun or adventured before, particularly this one. Leo's a bit more the pacifist type, but you fuck with Joshua, you fuck with Leo. And he does not take kindly to people hurting Joshua. That's part of why he, as soon as he was physically able to, decided to join Joshua on his excursions, because one, he felt kind of bad, although slowly Joshua is kind of convincing him that no, really, I did this because I love you, not because, I want you to feel indebted to me. And then where would they live? I haven't named the universe, but like I mentioned, post-apocalyptic world. Was their aesthetic? Again, I kind of mentioned this, a little steampunky, but like not, I wouldn't call it pure steampunk, you know, because that involves steam-powered machinery and all that, and obviously his heart is not steam-powered. So it's a little more science fiction, but with like a steampunk visual aesthetic. And then, what do they really like to do? Well, I think they like to live. Like I said, for the first half of the story, it's them kind of just escaping and trying to outrun, you know, war, in an attempt to find a better life. And so, I think with Joshua, the things he likes to do the most are, like, just take walks and relax and spend time with Leo. And Leo's a cuddler, so he likes to cuddle. And then is there anything else interesting you can think of? Not really. All I can say is these two were kind of very, I didn't go into buying them with like a plan for who they were. Leo, his head is the Dalmor Theo head, and I bought that body for one of my K-pop boys. I say K-pop, but they're a rock band, so K-band. And so he was very much like, I had this head and I didn't know what I was going to do with it, and I did a face-up on it, and I ended up like falling in love with him. And like I said, he's so cute, you can't see, but he's got all sorts of kinds of freckles, and he's got like these beautiful green eyes. So Leo turned out really, really, really cute. And then I wanted to find, a partner for him. And one thing that I've been trying to do with pretty much all of my recent doll purchases, with a couple exceptions. Obviously, if I can't find a certain skin color secondhand, I have to buy it from the company, like matching my tan skin boys from Let's. But I'm trying really hard to purchase like pretty much secondhand. So I didn't have like a solid plan for Joshua, but I kind of knew what I wanted his character to be because I'd made Leo's character already. And so, I just happened to find a sold all Paris for sale on the marketplace. And I think the thing that attracted me was like his face, because he has a very like kind of gentle but also mischievous looking face, and I felt like that was what I wanted for Joshua. And he was a really good price, and he's not a perfect doll. Like I said, he's older, so his head is super floppy, and he still needs a little bit of TLC. So does this one. But I'm really happy with these two, and for being last minute characters, they turned into some of my like favorite dolls. And I think that's just really cool that I went into it not really wanting the head, but only having the option to buy the body with the head, and then turning them into some of my favorite characters that I have created. And I would someday like to actually physically write their story, because I did do a lot of writing, mostly fan fiction, but I did a lot of writing, and I would love to do that for some of my stories that I'm a bit more proud of, and this one, I like where it's going so far, so who knows, maybe someday I'll write it and y'all can read it. But for now, I think that's all I got from my character video, and I will keep doing this for all my other dolls, but it may take a while. So I'll give you 3 choices of stories you might want to hear. So I have an actual steampunk story, and that involves my Souloid Fiel and my other Souloid boy. I have my K-band story, which is I'll probably do like 2 videos because I have 4 boys and 2 couples. So that's 2. I'll give you 3 options for now, and we'll slowly go through. And then the third option is, oh, but I don't have the other half, so I can't do that one yet. Some of them I'm still waiting on dolls. So the third option is gonna be my tinies, which you can only see the bottom half of a couple of them right now. The other 2 are being used as wig models. But my tiny dolls are part of a tiny people story. So little tiny fairy and then tiny people like Thumbelina. Because I grew up watching Thumbelina and I liked it. So yeah, let me know between steampunk, K-band, and small babes, which ones you would like to see. And I will continue adding to that list, but a couple of my stories I have a headless body that I'm waiting for a head still, so I'm gonna hold off on those until I get the characters put together. But that's all for now, so I will see you guys later.